against aggression, you're using armed forces ng ibang bansa na sakupin ang ibang bansa. You're using armed forces that will violate the sovereignty or the integrity of another country. Yun ang tinatawag na crimes against aggression. With respect to President Duterte, ang kaso niya na involved is crimes against humanity. So, yun yan. So, I don't know kung bakit naging crimes against humanity. Basta, yun ang kaso niya na pending ngayon sa ICC or the International Criminal Court.
Kailan po magkakaroon ng jurisdiction ang ICC sa isang tao?
Yung tinatawag na, may tinatawag tayo ngayon, Carlo, na principle of complementarity. Ito yung issue ngayon na bakit na-aresto si President Duterte and doon na may mga pending pa ang prosecution niya doon sa ICC. Yung tinatawag na principle of complementarity. Ibig sabihin doon, the ICC can only acquire jurisdiction. Can only acquire jurisdiction if the domestic courts and the prosecution body, prosecution body are not working. Ibig sabihin, the ICC only can acquire jurisdiction pag walang korte ang Pilipinas na working, which may working naman. Walang DOJ na functioning. Yun. Ibig sabihin, the ICC can only acquire jurisdiction pag walang working courts, walang working or functioning Department of Justice. Ibig sabihin, pag normally itong mga bansa na to, yung mga corrupt na country na walang functioning talaga na government, doon ang ICC papasok. Ang purpose nila is kasi may mga krimen na involves national concern. But I don't think so with respect to the Philippines kasi we have a working Supreme Court, we have a working Department of Justice. That's why big question mark bakit may jurisdiction ang ICC kay President Duterte on the ground na we have a working Supreme Court, we have a working Court of Appeals, RTC, MTC. We have also a working Department of Justice and Office of the Ombudsman. We have a working judiciary sa Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin, ang ICC can only acquire jurisdiction pag yung bansa na yan walang working or functioning judiciary under the principle of complementarity.
Pero clarify ko lang po, Attorney Mark, yung pagdating sa, of course, jurisdiction, magkakaroon na siya pag walang working na judiciary system sa isang bansa. So, automatic na rin po ba yan na kahit hindi member na ICC ay masasakop ng jurisdiction?
Hindi. Kailangan you should be a member of the ICC para at least the ICC has jurisdiction. So, dalawa ang requirement ng ICC can acquire jurisdiction. Number one, the ICC the country must be a member of the ICC. And second, kailangan walang working courts, walang functioning Department of Justice so that the ICC can acquire jurisdiction or can intervene under the principle of complementarity. By the way, Carlo, itong topic natin ngayon, in law school, ito yung tinatawag na public international law. This is an international law topic wherein we talk about treaties, we talk about ratification ng mga treaties, executive agreements or international agreements, yung mga Rome Statute, yung United Nations, ano ba yung role ng isang bansa sa kapwa niya bansa. Kasi we are an international family. When we say international family, hindi lang Pilipinas ang bansa sa buong mundo. Kailangan tayo makipaghalubilo sa ibang bansa. Not only about politics, but also about trade. For example, may negosyo tayo. May mga produkto tayo sa Pilipinas na sobra-sobra naman. Kailangan natin ibenta sa ibang bansa. Yan. We need international law. Sometimes, ang international law, we're not only talking here of politics na relationship ng country to another country, but also business, country to another country. Like for example, yung mga extradition treaty. May kaso, may demanda from one country to another country. From one country to another country, may mga demanda. Yan. It also involves state relationships. So that is international law.
Kailan po ba nagkaroon ng ang Pilipinas naging member ng ICC?
So we should talk about history. Ang Pilipinas pumirma ng Rome Statute noong December of 2000. December of 2000, nagapirma ang Pilipinas sa Rome Statute. December 2000. And it was ratified August of 2011. So after 11 years, ratified by Senate because in Philippine Constitution, lahat ng treaties it should be ratified by the Supreme Court, by the Senate. So kahit na pipirmahan pa yan ng presidente, kailangan pa rin ng ratification, meaning approval ng Senado. So therefore, pinirmahan yun ng representative natin sa Pilipinas doon sa Rome, yung napirma sila December of 2000. And also of course, pinirmahan ng presidente yun, and it was ratified by Philippine Senate on August of 2011. After ratified on August of 2011, nung November 1 of 2011, dun pa lang officially naging membro ang Pilipinas ng International Criminal Court through Rome Statute. So, November 1, 2011, dun naging membro, officially naging membro ang Pilipinas ng ICC. I repeat, ang Pilipinas nagkapirma December of year 2000, ratified by Senate of August of 2011. Then, officially naging member ang Pilipinas nung November 1, 2011.
Kaya ang tagal din pala nung attorney, no? Kasi 2000, pumirma matapos nag-ratify.
Kasi kailangan ng ratification ng Senate kasi that is requirement ng ating Supreme Court, ng ating ng ating saligang batas. Requirement ng ating saligang batas na lahat ng mga treaties, kasi treaties yung mga agreements ng country to country, basta treaty ang pinag-usapan, it should be ratified by the Philippine Senate.
Pero kailan din nag-withdraw ang Pilipinas sa ICC, attorney?
Okay, let's talk about withdrawal. Kasi ito yung top panahon ito kasi naging member tayo nung November 1, 2011. So sino presidente yun? Panahon ni Pinoy yata yun, 2011?
Yes, panahon ni
Pinoy ba yun or Gloria? Basta November 1, 2011 tayo naging membro. Tapos, yung panahon ni President Duterte nung March of 2018, pinadala sa yung tawag na Rome Statute. Nagpadala ang Pilipinas ng notice of withdrawal noong March of 2018. But under the law, under the Rome Statute, kahit ang isang bansa magpadala ng notice of withdrawal, hindi automatic withdraw agad. Paghintay pa na isang taon bago officially mag-withdraw. Ibig sabihin, kung nagpadala ang Pilipinas noong March of 2018, officially, ang Pilipinas nag-withdraw sa ICC noong March of 2019. Particularly, March 17 of 2019. Ibig sabihin, 1 year after the submission of the notice of withdrawal. Ang notice of withdrawal, pinadala ng Philippine government sa panahon ni President Duterte, March 18 of 2018. And naging effective yun kasi under the law, 1 year ang hintayin. So March 17, 2019, officially, hindi na membro ang Pilipinas ng International Criminal Court. Yeah.
Pero ano kaya naging dahilan? Bakit siya nag-withdraw sa ICC?
Dalawa ang official reason ng Duterte administration. Bakit nag-withdraw ang Pilipinas sa ICC? Number one, on the ground, ang ICC ginamit ng mga kalaban, mga puti, mga kalaban ng ating gobyerno, including yung mga leftists, mga NPA, ginamit ang ICC as a political attack. So ginamit ang ICC as a political attack sa Duterte administration. And second, bakit yun ang ginamit? Kasi it may affect Philippine sovereignty. It may infringe Philippine sovereignty. So dalawa, ang ICC ginamit as a political attack sa mga kalaban ng Philippine government. Minsan kalaban, minsan mga puti, minsan mga leftists, mga rebelde, ginamit ang ICC as a political attack. And pangalawa, infringement of the Philippine sovereignty. So kailangan natin pinaglaban ng Duterte administration ang sovereignty ng Pilipinas. And that is the reason why nag-withdraw ang Duterte administration, ang Pilipinas through the Duterte administration sa International Criminal Court. Noong March 17, 2019 officially, but pinadala noong March of 2018.
Yan. So automatically, Attorney Mark, after nung 2019, wala nang jurisdiction ang ICC sa Pilipinas.
Ang ICC, wala ng jurisdiction sa Pilipinas starting March 17, 2019. But, may but, lahat ng kaso, lahat ng krimen na ginagawa before March 17, 2019, ang ICC may jurisdiction pa. That's why, pag ang issue ni President Duterte na hindi na membro ang ICC, ang Pilipinas sa ICC, totoo yan, hindi na membro. But, lahat ng allegedly, we're talking about crime, allegedly, yung mga ginagawa before March 17, 2019, the ICC still has jurisdiction. Kasi nakalagay po sa ating batas na hindi siya retroactive. Kung mag-withdraw ang isang bansa sa ICC, mag-withdraw siya, ibig sabihin hindi siya membro, but lahat ng mga actions, lahat ng mga alleged crimen na ginagawa before the withdrawal, covered pa rin yan sa jurisdiction ng International Criminal Court.
Pero yung sa nagdaan na issue na yung sa pag-file ng mga alleged crimes, may daw doon meron daw parang time element na bakit umaksyon ng ICC nung late na.
Yun nga, late na. Yun nga ang issue dyan. Kasi the ICC, yes, it has jurisdiction sa lahat ng krimen at the time na the Philippines is a member of the ICC. So ibig sabihin doon, kahit yung nag-action ng ICC, may mga investigation, may pre-trial pa, may mga pre-examination, preliminary investigation, may mga ganun. But depende sa ICC yan through their prosecutor. Basta, ang sabi lang ng batas, ang ICC can acquire jurisdiction or still has jurisdiction to all the alleged crime committed before the withdrawal ng Pilipinas. We say before the withdrawal, official withdrawal, meaning ang official withdrawal kasi is March 17, 2019. So before that, the ICC still has jurisdiction.
So ano po yung mga kaso na iniimbestigahan ng ICC sa Pilipinas?
Ang very common, crimes against humanity. Yun daw kasi nilink nila ang crimes against humanity sa war on drugs ng Duterte administration. So yun talaga ang palagi nilang sinasabi kasi systematic daw, allegedly systematic daw, widespread daw yung drug, yung tinatawag na war on drugs ni President Duterte. So doon sila nagbase sa crimes against humanity. But hindi nila nabanggit na ang Pilipinas, we have a working Supreme Court, we have a working RTCCA, we have a working Department of Justice. So doon nila, I don't know paano nila i-justify yan na bakit ang DOJ yata nagpadakip ni President Duterte na ibig sabihin, inamin nila na they are not working, they are not functioning. Kasi very clear, under the principle of complementarity, the ICC can only acquire jurisdiction only if we have no functioning courts, we have no functioning Department of Justice. So pag meron yan, the ICC has no jurisdiction. But unfortunately, hindi yun ang nangyari sa batas.
Pero pwede bang pigilan ng gobyerno ng ating bansa, Attorney Mark, yung investigasyon ng ICC?
The ICC can investigate independently, even without the cooperation of the Philippine government. Tayo yan. Kasi ang ICC is separate. Ang ICC, independent. Hindi yan sakop ng ating gobyerno. Under siya ng Rome Statute. It is an international court. So, ibig sabihin doon, the Philippine government cannot stop the investigation, cannot stop the functions of the ICC. Hindi nila pwedeng mapigilan yan. But, the Philippine government may not cooperate. Yun. Iba kasi yung investigation sa enforcement. The ICC may investigate, but yung lahat ng investigation ng ICC cannot be enforced without the cooperation of the Philippine government. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ma-enforce yung kung walang cooperation ng Philippine government, yung mahirapan ang ICC to gather evidence, magkuha ng mga ebidensya. Mahirapan ng ICC to enforce warrant of arrest or any other warrant. Like for example, yung nangyari kay President Duterte, yung warrant of arrest ng ICC laban sa kanya, hindi yun enforceable sa Pilipinas. Naging enforceable lang yan kasi pinayagan ng Philippine government. Ibig sabihin, if the Philippine government will not cooperate, walang bisa yung warrant of arrest ng ICC. So, ang ICC is just a hanggang investigation ng talaga yan. Pag enforcement ng decision ng ICC, kailangan ng cooperation ng Philippine government. If there's no cooperation with the Philippine government, which the Philippine government is not mandatory na mag-cooperate talaga. Kung walang cooperation ng Philippine government, hindi nila kaya to gather evidence, hindi kaya ng ICC to arrest an individual or to enforce any warrant kasi they can only do ang kaya lang gawin is just to investigate kasi pag more than investigation, enforcement ang pinag-usapan natin dito, kailangan talaga ng cooperation ng Philippine government.